Zelmo Beaty was one of the most underrated big men in the history of the game. He was 6'9" in an era where most of the elite bigs were 7-footers, but his strength allowed him to hold his own in the paint. He brought a certain toughness to the game that couldn't be replicated. He wasn't the fastest, but he was mobile, always being in the right spot for an easy layup. He was a mismatch in the post, plus he had a solid outside shot and he made his free throws, something rare for centers at the time. Even though he was foul prone, he was still great defensively. Zelmo was one of the few NBA stars that also dominated in the ABA, where he helped lead the Utah Stars to a title in 1971. During his time in the ABA, he was the president of the Players Association, and although his knees were pretty much done by 1974, he played well enough to get one more NBA opportunity with the Lakers. Zelmo Beaty was an elite big man in every sense of the word, but for some reason, he doesn't get his just due. But I hope to change that in today's video. Welcome to PG Hoops, and let's get down to it. Zelmo was born on October 25, 1939 in Hillsborough, Texas, a small town with a population of 250. While attending the all-black Scott High School in Woodville, he won back-to-back state titles in his junior and senior years. Zelmo committed to play at Prairie View A&M, a small NAIA school outside of Houston. He was a third-team All-American as a sophomore, a first-team All-American as a junior, and a national champion as a senior, winning the Chuck Taylor Tournament MVP after dropping 28 points and 29 rebounds in the championship game. It was clear that he was one of the best players in the nation regardless of division, when he was selected 3rd overall by the Hawks in 1962. St. Louis was still Bob Pettit's team, but Zelmo was part of a promising rookie class that included John Barnhill, Bill Bridges, and Chico Vaughn. Lenny Wilkins manned the point, while Cliff Hagan was solid on the wing. Even though he was a starting center, Zelmo's role in the offense was limited, shooting 29% in his first 7 games. He dropped his first double-double on November 11th against Detroit with 17 points and 10 rebounds, going 6 for 6 from the field. Once January came around, Zelmo finally got some decent minutes and his production jumped. He dropped 27 points, 15 rebounds, and 3 assists against the Knicks, 19 points and 21 rebounds against the Royals, and 25 points and 11 rebounds against the Zephyrs. Zelmo had a solid rookie year, making 15th in rebounds and 16th in defensive win shares, but he led the league in personal fouls. The Hawks' offense ran through Bob and he had another MVP-level season, helping St. Louis finish 48-32. Zelmo averaged 10 points, 8.5 rebounds, and 1 assist. The Hawks faced the Pistons in the semifinals, as Zelmo went scoreless in his playoff debut, but he grabbed 10 rebounds in a blowout win. He dropped 17-13 in the closeout Game 4, as St. Louis faced the Lakers in the division finals. Zelmo dropped 21-15 in Game 3, and 16-13 in Game 6, but they couldn't get it done on the road, losing Game 7. The only major addition the Hawks made was by adding Richie Garrett in 1963. Zelmo was featured a lot more in the offense, and his numbers reflected it. He dropped a then career-high 38 points and 17 rebounds in the 4th game of the year against Detroit. He put up 23-18 against Philly, 26-17 against the Knicks, and 19-17 against the Lakers. He missed quite a few games with knee troubles, but the Hawks were still a solid squad, so they finished 46-34. Zelmo averaged 13 points, 11 rebounds, and 1.5 assists as St. Louis faced the Lakers in the semifinals. He dropped 23-15 in Game 1 and 22-8 in Game 3 as the Hawks won in 5. The Warriors met them in the division finals, and Zelmo had similar production, but he was in foul trouble most of the series, as San Francisco won in 7 games. The Hawks added 2 solid rookies in 1964, drafting Jeff Mullins and Paul Silas. Bob would deal with injuries this year, so multiple players, including Zelmo, got more opportunity. He was hooping to start the season, averaging 17 points and 13 rebounds on 50% shooting in the first 20 games. He dropped 27-21 on the Lakers and 34-20 against the Bullets, as these were 2 of his 47 double-doubles. He ranked in the top 10 for rebounds, field goal percentage, free throws, and defensive win shares. Richie became a player coach halfway through the season, but St. Louis still finished with a 45-35 record. Zelmo continued to improve, averaging 17 points, 12 rebounds, and 1.5 assists. They faced Baltimore in the semifinals, and Zelmo really went off, dropping 26 points and 12 rebounds on 11 of 13 shooting in Game 2 to tie the series. But Zelmo's shot was off the next 2 games, shooting 37% as the Hawks lost in 4. Bob retired in 1965, and this opened up the paint. The Hawks also added an intriguing guard in Joe Caldwell, but this was a breakout year for Zelmo. He was playing great to start, dropping 30 points and 25 rebounds against the Pistons on December 1st. The month of January was where he really shined, averaging 24 points and 15 rebounds on 51% shooting. This helped him earn his first All-Star appearance, but he didn't slow down after this, dropping a new career high of 39 points and 19 rebounds against Boston. Zelmo led the team in scoring, while also grabbing at least 20 rebounds in 8 games. He was top 10 in points, rebounds, and field goal percentage, leading the Hawks' second-ranked defense to a 36-44 record, still enough for the playoffs. Zelmo averaged 21 points, 13.5 rebounds, and 1.5 assists. The Hawks faced Baltimore again in the semifinals, and Zelmo wasn't the most efficient, but he was still productive in a competitive sweep. The Lakers met them in the division finals, as Zelmo had 36-14 in Game 2, 22-19 in Game 4, and 28 and 11 in Game 6, but the Lakers would win Game 7 to advance to the finals. Lou Hudson and Dick Snyder joined the team in 1966, and Zelmo started the season hot, dropping 31 points, 20 rebounds, and 3 assists in the second game of the year, and 32 points, 12 rebounds, and 3 assists 2 weeks later. After playing only 13 minutes in the November game against New York, Zelmo left with knee issues, not returning for over 2 months. But when he came back, it was like he hadn't missed a beat, breaking out on March 5th against Baltimore with 38 points and 26 rebounds. Lou turned out to be a great addition, as he led the team in scoring as a rookie. Bill Bridges had a breakout season, becoming a first-time All-Star. The Hawks really relied on their defense, but the absence of Big Z really hurt them, as they had another losing record of 39 and 42. Zelmo averaged 18 points, 11 rebounds, and 1.5 assists, as the Hawks earned a semifinal matchup with the expansion Chicago Bulls. He had modest production in this series, but the Bulls were never really a challenge, as St. Louis easily swept them. The Warriors would be a tougher test as this series went back and forth. Zelmo averaged 19 points and 15 rebounds in games 4 through 7, but the Hawks lost the closeout game at home. Zelmo came into 1967 with a different energy, as the Hawks were starting to build something. He dropped 39 points and 19 rebounds in the season opener, 41 points and 13 rebounds against Detroit, and 42 points and 17 rebounds against Seattle. Zelmo had 59 double-doubles, but this was the best passing season of his career, dishing at least 5 assists in 8 games. He finished the season ranked 12th in points, 11th in rebounds, 14th in field goal percentage, 13th in free throw percentage, and 14th in defensive win shares, earning his second All-Star appearance. Lenny was the runner-up for MVP, as the Hawks had the best defense in the league, finishing with a then-franchise record 56 wins. Zelmo averaged 21 points, 12 rebounds, and 2 assists as they faced the Warriors in the semifinals. He had one of the best performances of his career in Game 2, with 46 points and 22 rebounds as the Hawks tied the series. He was solid after this, but the Warriors were the better team, winning in 6 games. The Hawks moved to Atlanta in 1968, as Lenny Wilkens was replaced by Walt Hazzard. Zelmo was still playing like one of the best big men in the league, averaging 23 points and 11 rebounds in December. He dropped 33 points, 15 rebounds, and 5 assists against Detroit, and 21 points, 10 rebounds, and 8 assists a week later. Zelmo was a top 20 scorer and rebounder, as Lou and Joe both broke out as All-Stars. Atlanta was a solid team on both sides of the ball, finishing 48 and 34. Zelmo averaged 22 points, 11 rebounds, and 2 assists as he faced the San Diego Rockets in the semifinals. He dropped 31 points and 13 rebounds in Game 2, and 31 points, 17 rebounds, and 3 assists in Game 3, as the Hawks won the series in 6, facing the Lakers yet again in the division finals. He averaged 24 points, 13 rebounds, and 3 assists for the series, but LA would easily eliminate the Hawks in 5 games. Zelmo had been the heart and soul of the Hawks for the last 6 years, leading them to the playoffs every year, but he felt like his $30,000 salary was extremely low for his production. He had an option year in 1969, but he would sit out, listening to offers from other teams. The Los Angeles Stars of the rival ABA quickly scooped him up, signing him to a 4-year contract worth $650,000. The Stars were the first club to offer what I thought I deserved as a player. I'm making more in 1 year than I made in 3 in Atlanta, Zelmo said. The Hawks filed an injunction against him, so he was legally barred from playing in the ABA this season. The Stars moved to Utah in 1970, and with Zelmo cleared to play, he was now the main guy on a stacked team. He seemed like he reached another gear in the ABA, dropping 31 points and 26 rebounds in his 5th game. He put up 39 points and 16 rebounds on the Floridians, 35 points and 28 rebounds against the Squires, and 47 points and 16 rebounds against the Colonels. In addition to his 19 30-point games, he grabbed at least 20 rebounds in 13 games. He led the league in field goal percentage and offensive rebounds, making the All-ABA second team and finishing as the runner-up for MVP behind Mel Daniels. Glenn Combs and Red Robbins turned in All-Star campaigns, while mid-season acquisition Ron Boone was a valuable piece. Being coached by the legendary Bill Sharman, the Stars were a complete team, finishing 57 and 27. Zelmo averaged 23 points, 16 rebounds, and 2 assists on a career-high 56% shooting, earning the nickname of the franchise. He showed up in the semifinals against Texas, dropping 25 and 18 in Game 1 and 32 and 15 in Game 3 of an easy sweep. He had 5 20-point games in the division finals against the Pacers, with his best outing coming in Game 6, with 32 points, 20 rebounds, and 3 assists. The Stars win Game 7 on the road to make the ABA Finals, facing the Colonels. Zelmo put on his cape, dropping 26 and 16 in Game 1, 40 and 15 in Game 2, and averaging 30 points, 18 rebounds, and 3 assists on 53% shooting in Games 4 through 7, as Utah won the closeout game to secure the title. Zelmo earned the playoff MVP for his stellar postseason performance. The Stars looked primed to repeat in 1971, and Zelmo was on fire from the start, averaging 26 points and 14 rebounds on 55% shooting in the first 10 games. On January 30th against the Floridians, he dropped 28 points, 16 rebounds, and 4 blocks. On February 21st against Pittsburgh, he broke Stu Johnson's ABA record with 63 points and 15 rebounds, shooting 24 of 31 from the field and 15 of 15 from the line. Zelmo was top 20 in points, rebounds, field goal percentage, free throw percentage, and defensive win shares. Willie Wise had his best season as a pro, while Glenn Combs became the first player to shoot over 40% from 3, as the Stars finished 60-24. Zelmo averaged a career-high 24 points, 13 rebounds, and 1.5 assists, as the Stars faced Dallas in the semifinals. He delivered his usual production as Utah easily swept them. The Pacers met them again, and Zelmo dropped 23 points, 25 rebounds, and 7 assists in Game 2 to help Utah take a 2-0 series lead. But Indiana was determined, and they stole Game 7 on the road to eliminate the Stars. Zelmo's multiple knee surgeries finally started to affect him in 1972, so his production took a noticeable dip, while Gerald Govan and Cincy Powell were brought in as depth pieces. Despite losing a lot of his mobility, Zelmo was still productive, dropping 27 points, 21 rebounds, and 3 blocks on October 3rd against Kentucky. He put up 23 points, 11 rebounds, 3 steals, and 2 blocks against Memphis. He dropped a season-high 35 points and 9 rebounds against Virginia. Zelmo still made the All-Star team, finishing 13th in rebounding and 10th in total blocks. Even though he was slowing down, the Stars were extremely deep as their top-ranked offense helped them win 55 games. Zelmo averaged 16 points, 10 rebounds, 1.5 assists, and a block. The Stars faced San Diego in the semifinals, and this was an easy sweep, but lo and behold, they faced the Pacers yet again, as Zelmo dropped 21 points, 18 rebounds, and 3 assists in Game 1, and 27 points, 13 rebounds, and 2 steals in Game 3, but Indiana won the series in 6. Zelmo was leading by example on and off the court, as he became the president of the Players Union, similar to his position as the union representative with the Hawks. When the ABA players were in favor of a merger with the NBA, he said, "I think the caliber of play in the ABA is fast catching up with the play in the NBA. We still have a lot of young players in this league, but once they get their experience, they can easily match up." In order to save his body, the Stars moved him down to the 4 in 1972, signing Govan as a starting center. He had a smaller role in the offense, but he was still effective, putting up a 3-game stretch in December averaging 27 points, 13 rebounds, 1.5 steals, and 3 blocks. On January 26 against Denver, he dropped 26 points, 8 rebounds, 4 assists, and 4 blocks. Ron, Jimmy, and Willie were the top 3 guys on the team now, and they were still great on both sides of the ball, finishing 51-33. Zelmo averaged 13 points, 8 rebounds, and 2 assists, as the Stars faced San Diego again in the semifinals. He dropped 27 points, 11 rebounds, and 2 steals in Game 1, but he was quiet the rest of the series, as Utah won in 6 games. He still played great the rest of the postseason, but his knee kept him out of a few games, as Utah will lose in the finals. Even though Zelmo had already had 6 knee surgeries up to this point, Bill Sharman was now the coach of the Lakers, so he gave Zelmo another NBA opportunity, backing up Elmore Smith and Happy Hairston. He was productive in his limited role, dropping 15 points, 9 rebounds, and a career-high 5 steals against the Blazers, and 17 points, 11 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals, and 3 blocks versus Portland again. But the Lakers were still transitioning out of their Big 3 era, so they were unusually bad, as Gail Goodrich was the only big contributor. They only won 30 games, their worst record since 1957, as Zelmo averaged 6 points, 5 rebounds, and 1 assist. Zelmo retired after this season, but he decided to go back to the ABA, this time as a coach for the Squires during the 1976 season. He then worked in financial planning before working as a gym teacher in the Seattle School District. In 1997, he was named to the ABA All-Time Team, but Zelmo would pass away from cancer August 27, 2013 at the age of 73. He finally got the respect he deserved over 40 years after his retirement, finally being inducted to the Hall of Fame in 2016. Zelmo Beaty was remarkably consistent his whole career, even though his knees went out relatively early, but you wouldn't know he was playing through pain, as he gave 100% every time he played. He often gave up a lot of size to his matchups, but he was strong enough to hold his own in the paint. He was a bully in the post while having a consistent outside shot and making you pay for putting him on the line. He was great defensively too, as he was impossible to move off his spot, and he was an underrated shot blocker. Zelmo earned a lot of respect with his play and his advocacy for the players, as although he's underrated amongst the masses, his peers call him one of the all-time greats. Thank you guys, really appreciate y'all for the support. Shout out to Zelmo Beaty. I had already wanted to do a video on Zelmo Beaty, but when I did the interview with Willie Wise, he definitely gave me a lot of nuggets, like a lot of deeper stuff about Zelmo that I didn't want to put in the video because, you know. But Zelmo really was a great person. He was a great teammate. He had a really good personality. You know, he came and he did his job. He was advocating for the players. You know, I love the people that advocate for the players, because especially during this time, the teams had all the control. And Zelmo was a beast, man. He was undersized and he wasn't the biggest athlete, and he was already dealing with knee troubles. His game wasn't predicated on athleticism. It was just a lot of skill. He had that outside shot, like he made his free throws impossible to move on a low block. He was a great defender. He was a great rebounder. He could score the ball. He was great in the post. One of the best centers ever. It just seems like he wasn't a loud player, so maybe he doesn't get recognized. And while he put up great stats, it wasn't like Wilt or Bill Russell. The center position was so deep with those two guys. Like, it was hard to kind of get your shine. Shout out to Zelmo, man. Zelmo was a great player, great teammate. He was killing in the ABA. He was killing in the ABA. 63 points is wild. Shout out to Zelmo, man. RIP to you. I'm glad he finally got in the Hall of Fame. I don't know what took so long. He didn't have a scandal or anything. I don't know what took him so long to get in the Hall of Fame. I guess he just got lost to time. Thank you. I really appreciate y'all guys for the support. Leave a like if you enjoyed. Hit that subscribe button if you're new to my channel. Turn my post notifications on if you haven't already. Thank you. Please be safe. Stay on the grind. I'm out. Peace.